Hello, everyone. Welcome to another LinkedIn audio event. I'm joined by Dr. Vibha Arora and Ms. Shobha Rana, and we are here today to discuss about work-life balance. Before we start discussing the topic, let me take this opportunity to introduce the wonderful ladies who have joined me today. Shobha Rana is a renowned multi-award winning live show host, emotional intelligence and mindfulness coach, and a true luminary in the world of holistic wellness, yoga, and personal development. With an impressive global presence, she has graced over 2,000 stages and panels across 30 countries, sharing her wealth of knowledge and experience over the last 15 years. Beyond her impressive accolades and global presence, she is a person who genuinely cares about the emotional and mental well being of youth of India. Her podcast, The Journey Within by Shobha Rana, is a testament to her mission to bring a shift in the mindset of people through the understanding of their emotions and how we process them. Coach Shobha Rana's dedication to empowering others through emotional intelligence is truly heartwarming. Further, I'll move on to introduce Dr. Vibha. She is an associate dean with ICFI Business School and alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. She holds a doctorate in marketing with 22 years of academic and research experience. She is co-chair at the International Research Symposium in Service Management and has won international awards in research and academics. She follows a disciplined lifestyle and is religious with her mental and physical fitness routine. She is a wellness advocate who not only motivates but inspires others to stay fit and healthy both mentally and physically.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Ravi, for a wonderful introduction. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to co host this event with you. And let me take this opportunity to introduce you as well. Dr. Ravi is a good friend and a professor in the area of service innovation, sustainability, and entrepreneurship. He balances his professional and personal life well, and he's admired by his family and friends for the same. As a mindfulness coach, his mission has been to empower people on their journey as to be healthy and happier. He has been helping so many people in this domain, and it's really great to see that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vibha. Today's topic is very relevant to our present society. Work-life balance involves managing time, energy, and attention to maintain a healthy and fulfilling life, both at work and outside of it. Now, achieving a good work-life balance can lead to reduced stress and improved overall well-being.
That's correct, Ravi. And if I talk about the facts, we live in an era wherein one third of our lives is spent at work. And if I quote the data shows that 3 out of 5 employees suffer from mental health issues. Now, these mental health issues could be due to lack of psychological safety. It could be that I feel I don't have autonomy at work. I might feel that I'm not making an impact at work. I might feel that I'm not being treated fair and equally well at work. So, reasons could be many. But the reality is that 3 out of 5 people are suffering from mental health issues. And these imbalances are not visible just in the form of mental issues. It also results into physical health issues.
Sure.
Nowadays, we are seeing so much of rise in terms of young people getting BP issues, blood pressure issues, sugar issues, heart
Yeah.
diseases at such a young age, right? So one of the major cause which has been seen scientifically is stress, is
Mm.
mental health issues. And the kind of cost the economy is bearing for that is to the extent of $2.5 trillion annually.
Mm.
So
Wow.
it's very, very important, I believe, that as a nation, as an economy, as an organization, work-life balance, mental health issues should be taken care of.
Absolutely. Those are some shocking figures there. I mean, just imagine waking up every morning feeling exhausted. And frankly speaking, this is a reality for many facing burnout or work life imbalance. There could be symptoms like persistent fatigue, reduced productivity, or detachment from work. These could be physical signs, rightly said, as what you were saying, Vibha. And these signs could be, headache or stomach issues or disrupted sleep. It is seen that as the weight of responsibilities grow, personal life suffers, and which eventually leads to strained relationships. So basically, when work overflows into our personal space, we lose balance. It becomes evident that mental health is suffering through anxiety and depression. Now, recognizing these simple symptoms is crucial, as addressing them early can prevent burnout and restore harmony to our lives. Shobha, what do you think about the possible reasons why people are not able to maintain a work life balance?
First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Ravi, for inviting me and for that very kind introduction. I'm very happy to be a part of this meaningful conversation, because it's really the conversation of the hour. We need to talk more and more about work life balance and mental health. I truly feel that they go hand in hand, and there is a direct link between an off balance in your work life, work and life basically, leading to mental health issues. The leading cause I feel for this anomaly is that we are very outwardly looking people. We are very driven by the data, by the numbers, by our success in the worldly manner. So
Right.
we are less in touch with our own deeper inner self, and our outlook towards life, or our parameters or yardstick to manage or measure our success and failures, is only what is these numbers. Where do I stand in the ladder of success, what
Right.
car am I driving, and all of that. So the approach is very outwardly, I feel, and till the time it will keep happening so, and we keep losing touch with who we really are, what our inner inspiration is, what motivates me, what is my personal definition of success, what is my personal definition of not being okay. We really need
Right.
to sit with ourselves and have these deeper conversations with nobody else but with ourselves first. I think this disconnection between our inner world and the outer world is one of the leading cause. Somewhere
Right.
along the way, we have missed the whole point of creating a good life for ourselves in the outer world, if it is not resonating with the vibrations of my inner world.
Mm.
Uh, I totally agree with Shobha. So, in one word, if I try to describe it, I'll call it as self-awareness. So, introspecting ourselves and being aware about ourselves. So, the way we define our success is in terms of society, how society is going to see us. We do not look at how we are going to be happy. uh, Recently in media, we had one conversation about productive hours, number of productive hours. There are people who are saying it should be 50 plus. There are people who are saying it should be less than 50. So who is going to define for us? Is somebody else going to define for us? No. It's us. We are going to see that as an individual. What is productivity for me? And how many hours are going to be realistic for me? what's going to make happy, what's going to make me happy. If it's work, maybe for somebody spending 14 hours at work makes him or her happy, or maybe more than that, more than 14 hours. But
Right.
if that's not me, in that case, I need to introspect myself and I need to see that what makes me happy.
Very true.
So I think that having that self awareness is very, very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we are kind of living with the idea of borrowed dreams. So whatever I make as my yardstick for, or my milestone, as that idea is somewhere borrowed from somebody else, or I see
Yeah.
somebody else achieving something or becoming something or being on a certain path, and that sort of gives me a motivation to be on the same path because I look at what they have achieved, but
True.
I don't know the process. I don't know what they really went through. And what people usually share are their achievements. You don't
Right.
expect a CEO to come in and share all his personal and other struggles with you while building the business. We only see
True.
the milestone. Oh, year 1 was this, year 3 was this, by year 5 this happened, by year 10 this happened, and today it's this bigger company. So we don't know the process. We only know the outcome, and we go after the same path, whatever we have understood of it, and
Yeah.
and then we encounter these difficult situations that not everybody is equipped to handle. You can be equipped to handle it if you train your brain like that, if you train yourself. There are multiple ways to do that as well, but going in with absolute non-awareness of the process and only with the idea of obtaining certain outcomes at ease is something that is also putting us at a decline of mental health.
So nicely put, Shobha. And while you were speaking, I was just thinking that it is so true that the people have become so concerned about the society and what others are doing and what others are feeling about us. And in that process, we really have forgotten that, who we are and what kind of capability we have. We are constantly pushing ourselves much beyond our capacity, which is really very harmful because, we are hurting ourselves every minute. And by doing so, I mean, are we actually achieving what we are aiming for? I really don't know because, something which is beyond our capacity, even if we carry on trying, it may not come in that way. So it is always good to train ourselves rather than, pushing ourselves to do something which is beyond. It is always good to, of course, aspire, but the aspiration should not be such that it becomes an addiction or a kind of a force that we are putting through to ourselves. Uh, Further to that, I think there is another factor that comes to my mind and which is becoming a very big problem, especially in the younger generation, which is social isolation, which can have a significant negative impact on mental health. When people are isolated from social interactions, it can lead to feelings of loneliness, depression, and anxiety. As humans, we are inherently social creatures, and our mental well-being often relies on connections with others. Now, surely we understand that this is, has happened over time, and the urbanization, technological advancements, and changes in the family structure. But especially the social media and digital communication has worsened the whole, face-to-face interaction. What thoughts come to your mind, Shobha?
I believe that social media and the digital platforms that have now come in this new digital era, it's a necessary evil. So you can't ignore the boons, the unlimited boons that it has. It's like a weapon. It's like a knife. So if it is in the hand of a chef, it will help him make great dishes. But if it is in the hand of a criminal, he might murder someone with that. So social media is something like that. So how one person decides to use it is a very important factor here that we have to sort of consider in. Of course, with social media, comparison that we do with others has increased multifolds. Earlier, our parents or people used to give us the example of the next door neighbor or the Sharma ji ka layak beta
Mhm.
to refer to
Right.
as what he has achieved, and that is like sort of your milestone also, if he has done engineering or whatever he has achieved and where he lives in and all that. But today the whole
Right.
world has opened up as your means to compare yourself to others with. And this comparison is not even in a particular space. It is so diverse. Like today I see Dr. Vibha doing so well, speaking at so many events, influencing and impacting the lives of so many students. I feel
Right.
that I take my inspiration from there, or the motivation from there, that I want to also impact the lives of people. Then I see Dr. Ravi, who is working with corporates, who is an emotional intelligence coach. Then I want to be that. Then I see somebody traveling to crazy destinations, and I feel, oh, I can also do that. Then I see somebody else doing something else. So everything is sort of drawing you outward, and it's
Right.
making you compare yourself that much more because you see it on the social media. However, it is also a cause of social isolation, physical social isolation, I would say, because it gives you an illusion that you know a lot of people and you are in touch with a lot of people because you see their stories and you see what's happening in their lives, even if you know them or you don't know them. So you kind of feel that knowing them through this online window is only enough. However, there is so much more power in actual personal face-to-face interactions, in having a social life, as you were saying, in
Yeah.
having a sense of belongingness, because that's a very primal need of a human being.
Yeah.
We all yearn for that belongingness, and if we are curbing that very basic instinctive need of ours with
Right.
with digital platforms and all the other means of entertainment, somewhere our deep within our inner self still craves for that, and we try to silence the inner voice only till we can. And one day it
Sure.
shows up as depression, it shows up as anxiety, panic attacks, heart stroke even.
Right.
One of the major
Right.
causes for heart stroke is social isolation also, by the way. So one has to use it as a tool, but also you have to sort of learn to balance it, because of course it is addictive. It is designed in a manner that it's going to always pull you in, but you have to be that much more self-aware and conscious that you know when to plug in and when to plug out.
So true. And with all that discussion that we did today, I think it is very important for us to introspect and check our happiness quotient from time to time. Socialize more and try to be there with positive people. With that, I would like to move towards the mindfulness exercises and practices that we can follow to bring balance to our work life, by being present at the moment and setting boundaries and prioritizing tasks. It can also help in disconnecting from work outside office hours, to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Vibha, you have any thoughts on this, please?
Yeah, so if I try to connect digital media and social media itself to work-life balance, I would say that within the time which we spend at our organization, if we keep our digital devices aside, we could be more productive. Yeah. So once we get on social media, we don't get to know that how much time is gone. And towards end of the day, we get to know that the task which was supposed to be done is not accomplished. So I believe that again, coming back to introspection and self-awareness and be focused and keeping these distracting devices aside, so that we don't add to our anxiety, we don't delay the deadlines, we are more productive. So I think that again helps us in terms of bringing work-life balance, because the work which is to be done in 6 hours or 8 hours takes about 10 hours because of these distractions. Second thing I would say is that our interpersonal relations also might help in terms of bringing up a work-life balance. So generally, there's a tendency, people believe that I should be doing all the work myself. And leaders are scared of, leaders or bosses are scared of delegating the work. But in case if you have hired somebody capable, you should have that trust. If you have trust, it's not going to be visible. But if you don't have trust, it's going to be visible to everybody around. Yeah. So if you have that trust on your team, half of the job is done. And have the capable team, that also is going to bring work-life balance to the life of so many people. Yeah, in case if that intrusion is not there, interruption is not there, questioning is not there, let the person take the wheel and drive the car. Yeah, so that kind of an organization can bring work-life balance beautifully well. So I think there are few tactics of time management. So, for example, when you have a meeting, meeting keeps on going, lingering on. So there's no cap to it. So an effective meeting could be done in 15 minutes also, rather than 1.5 hours. Again, that could also bring productivity to an organization. We spend so much time in drafting emails, correcting the tone of the email, that what would other person perceive, rather than just pick up the phone and make a call and have the direct open communication. So I think that some micromanagement at individual level and at team level could help in bringing work-life balance to organization and different employees' life. And further, I would request Shobha to add on in terms of mindfulness exercises, please.
So, Dr. Vibha, you very, beautifully summed up a couple of points there. Delegating your work, trusting the people that you work with, extremely important. I want to start with what really mindfulness is and what really are we talking about here. So, mindfulness basically is your moment-to-moment awareness about what is happening with you, what is happening around you, in terms of your physical, mental, emotional body, and of course your environment. That is moment to moment awareness is your mindfulness. So mindfulness is a very good tool and a very great tool to apply when you want to create work-life balance in your life. So I would say that one must start with setting up first an intention of what they really I'm sorry, just give me a moment. Sorry, I was just checking on my internet connection. My apology. So I was saying that mindfulness truly can be a great tool in understanding your own self, like self-awareness that we have been talking about since the beginning of this event. So mindfulness is actually a tool to activate that for yourself. And once you know that what is happening with you moment by moment, what you're experiencing, how it is translating into the thoughts in your mind, how it is, creating sort of a, flow of your breath in your physical body, the physical sensations, you can very well know that what this particular moment is entailing for you, what it is bringing to you. So if you have, so if you have, like, let's say, if you have a moment of stress, whether you acknowledge it or not outwardly, your body knows, and you would, if you pay attention to what is happening to you in that moment, you will see that your flow of the breath is not regulated. You will see that your thoughts are not regulated. That is the first indicator that you're going off balance, that you are into stress. So would you take a corrective measure there and then to acknowledge yourself? And this whole chase after perfection, that I had written 10 tasks in the day and I had to do 10 of those, in between we have to account for human factor in your delegation of your work, working with the people you trust, or creating a meaningful work for yourself, like what you do should mean that much to you. You should, if you're doing it only as a job, I think in these times, the current times are sort of the best times for you to explore and make your living or money out of what you like. There is so much of scope for newer professions. So many professions those didn't exist, let's say, even 5 years ago or 10 years ago, are there, and people are making their great living out of that and all of that. If I talk about just a decade ago, 10, 15 years ago, nobody would have thought that I want to be a chef, or I want to have a YouTube channel, or I'll be a podcaster for that matter, or I'll be a coach for that matter, and I will be able to, have the lifestyle of any top-notch corporate executive. But that is all a possibility for you today. So if your work is bringing you a lot of anxiety, somewhere you have to make friends with the anxiety and the panic. That is the first thing that I tell people. Come to me with the panic and the anxiety, because the more you try to fight it, it's like if I tell you to not think of an elephant, only thing you can think of right now is an elephant. It's that, it's as simple as that. So the more you think about panic and anxiety in your head as your enemies, it's going to become more powerful and more big, and it's very difficult to take on to it what you have fueled power into by yourself. So one idea is to acknowledge it, and by acknowledging it and by accepting it and by bringing in the element of mindfulness and the moment to moment awareness of your bodily sensations and your mental sensation, you can you will be able to reduce the power of that anxiety and panic in that very moment. So mindful breathing is a great exercise. Setting intention is a great exercise. Delegating your work is a great exercise. Taking account of your feelings and your thoughts is one of the great exercises that I could suggest for people to really create self awareness. There are tons of exercises that you can find on the internet, which is like a reservoir of so much of information. So you can find it there. You can, if you have a coach or somebody who guides you, you can ask from them. But it's not about having 100 tips into your arsenal and then just getting confused with the method. It's about just listening to one thing that connects with you. If only a simple act of breathing helps you be mindful in life, then that is your, that is your weapon. That works for you. If writing down, journaling works the best for you, that is your weapon. I mean, just individualize and personalize what works for you in the best way. But the point of all of it, the starting point of all of it is self-awareness, for sure.
Great. And, there is one more thing that is coming to my mind. I remember in my life when I was struggling, to catch up with certain things, I found one thing that is of my interest and I started working on it. And I have seen this, happening with so many others as well, that if you're able to identify one, particular passion of yours or one particular work that you really find interest in doing, the positive trickle down effect happens for that. So, you would actually stop self-criticizing or pushing yourself beyond your own comfort, because we as humans, we always carry on looking for bigger success every time, bigger achievement every time. And that routine or that process basically creates much more tension and pressure for us. So I think that can definitely be used as a tool, that you find at least one interest of yours and probably start working on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Ravi, one question that has helped me reflect quite a bit and design my life and goals from there is that what is your definition of success? Somebody asked me this question about 4 years ago, and I just couldn't answer, because whatever I said, the next moment I was like, no, but it's not so important to me. If I said it was money, there were multiple other ways of making money more easily. Then why do I choose to do what I'm doing right now? So it's something bigger than that. Then I kept knocking on these society given parameters to measure your success. And then I realized that to everyone, success means something which is very personal to them. Once you can identify what is that for you, if it is impacting lives for you, if it is making money for you, if it is having a rank for you, if it is having some degree of fame for you, whatever it is for you, then you can chart out your path accordingly. You can design your life that fits in that goal properly. If your idea of success and what you're doing are not aligned together, then it will never lead to a fulfilling life. It will lead to anxiety, it will lead to panic. So I would really encourage our listeners and the people who are tuning into this event to ask themselves, really sit with this question. And it's not a question that you have to answer right now for yourself. Sit with it for a couple of hours, for a couple of days, for a couple of months even, and figure out what it means to you. Because, so today when I say that I want to impact lives, I have altered my lifestyle in a manner that I'm okay to take a pay cut. I'm okay to be a part of lesser events because I'm trying to build something else, But earlier, I wanted to impact lives, but I also wanted to host an event every day. Now, the two things cannot happen together. And it will bring in a lot of anxiety if you try to club two, counterbalance energies with each other. So you have to sort of simplify, and you have to take growth as not a linear process. What we have been told and what we have been conditioned with since childhood is to believe that growth is linear. So goal number 1, then goal number 2, then goal number 3, then goal number 4. But it might just so happen that from goal number 4, you have to come back to goal number 2 to see, and to balance your life. you might not go to goal number 5 directly from there. From goal number 2, you may go to goal number 2.1 or something like that, So it's not so linear. Sometimes success also means rolling back. And it boils down, for me, the definition is whatever it is for me, for you it could be something else, is what I'm basically trying to say. So instead of just knocking one milestone after the other and harboring all the anxiety about how do I do my next thing, just ask yourself, why do I do that next thing? What does it mean to me? How is it relevant to me? What it makes me feel? Is it leaving me fulfilled at the end of the day? If it is not, then I've got some more reflection to do.
So true. I think these are some great tips and suggestions, and will help immensely. Before we conclude, as we have people joining from UAE and India, I would like to touch upon the cultural context as well, because I think that also influences our, the well-being aspect. So for me, it has been more than 4 years I'm here in UAE, and I feel that, that there is, this cultural context between UAE and India, which really, relates to the work-life balance, and it varies significantly. Like if I talk about UAE, the work-life balance is generally emphasized with a standard work week of around 40 hours and a strong focus on personal and leisure. With Saturday and Sunday being the weekends. On the other hand, with the kind of experience I had back in India, I'm sure that everybody would have a little different experience, but back in India, the concept of work-life balance can be more challenging to achieve. The work culture in India often involves longer working hours and a competitive environment. Many people have a strong work ethic and may find it challenging, to separate work from personal life. Vibha, you are there in India for so many years working in professional career. What do you think about this?
Yeah, so I was just smiling while you were speaking about UAE, the way it is defined, because in India, if you talk about, I'll not say it applies to all the organizations, but generally, if we talk about, if you look up to flexi time, if you look up to hybrid, or if you say that shorter weekly hours, four days a week, that kind of a flexibility, if you expect, it means that you are not committed. It means that you don't have the competence. That's how I would say that it's seen. And it's not that people are, or from the organization perspective, if I talk about, it's going to take long when organizations are going to accept in terms of 4 days a week, or flexi hours, or remote working, or hybrid work culture. I think that's still a long way to go.
I see. Shobha, what are your thoughts, please?
I completely agree with the both of you that it's a very cultural thing as well. India, if you see that we have a growth rate of over 7%. We are an economy that is very aspirational, growing. We are now, growing at a pace faster than ever before. India has a huge startup culture coming in now in the recent few years. Passionpreneurs, the number of passionpreneurs are multiplying by the seconds in this country. So there is so much going on that definitely this expecting to have a 4-hour work week and all of that is kind of, I would say, difficult. But again, it's a matter of a personal choice. Like I said, that you have to ask what's your idea of success, what's your idea of life is. So if your idea of life is that I want to earn a 6-figure salary and all of that, then you have to cut back on certain other areas of your life. And if your idea of life is that I want to seek for some adventure in my weekends, I want to work less and maybe travel a bit or maybe explore life a bit, then you have to adjust your monetary, and the corporate, what I should say, aspirations accordingly. So you can't have it all. And it's a country, like the pace at which we are growing, we are seeing people who are projecting that they are having it all. That's the half story. It's not the full story. So if a
Yeah.
CEO is showing you that, this much I have done, or if a successful person, I don't know why I keep coming back to CEO because it's LinkedIn, so only corporate ladder is on my mind. But I'm just saying, like, if you see a celebrity, if you see anybody on social media who influences you, you see only half the story. So you feel that if it is possible for this person to travel in an exquisite manner, work only few days, make this kind of money and all of that, if you're
Yeah.
borrowing your idea of living your life from whatever person, you don't know what the full story is. They might be working
Sure.
16 hours a day. I know celebrities, actors who are my friends, they work for 18 hours a day and more than that to produce a 20 minutes of a daily soap episode. But what we see is them dressing up so nicely, looking so pretty, so many people following them, so many people complimenting them, so many people desiring them and all of that, but we don't know that they barely get 4 hours of sleep. So
Right.
if your idea is to have fame, you have to also see all of these things, and in a country like India, which is still, exploring its new possibilities, where new ideas are taking place, and people are becoming a little more courageous than before as well, that they're open to trying
Yeah.
out new things. We are
Sure.
not a generation that backs off now. If I have found out what I like doing or something, it's more probability than before that I will jump on that bandwagon and I'll try to pursue it. So it's a nation of entrepreneurs also in a lot of ways now. So absolutely, the speed and pace is humongous. And once you are giving into your passion, one of the things that I discovered recently, since I started my podcast, is also that
Yeah.
I was purely an artist. I was purely a keynote speaker before starting
Right.
the podcast, and I was also
Right.
an entrepreneur. But my entrepreneurial venture did not need, or my aspiration with it was not so big that I was working relentlessly for it. But since the time I started this passion project of mine, which is this podcast, I figured
Right.
out for myself that there is so much work to produce just 1 hour of episode. You literally
Right.
are working like over 150 hours to just produce 1 hour of one episode. And it's
Mm.
not you alone. Your teams are also working that much with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right from the ideation, conceptualization, to guest hunting, to formulating what it's going to be like, to editing, to everything, the whole process. It takes that much
Absolutely.
out of you. So I stumbled upon a
Yeah.
question and a realization myself, because I'm also a fairly disciplined person, like Dr. Vibha was saying, and
Yeah.
I got very inspired by seeing her posts, and by we've met at an event. So I take a
Yeah.
lot of inspiration from people who are able to follow discipline. But
True.
when you're following your passion, uh, people say that, and this romanticizing the idea that when you do what you do, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. Fine, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like work, but the reality is there is still work that needs to be done.
Sure.
It might
Yeah.
feel less burdensome. You might be more encouraged, or you might be more motivated to do that work because it pulls you in, it's your passion. But there is still work, and you will put in those hours, and it will take away from your other areas of your life. So
Sure.
you have to be very cautious about that as well. You can't be a passionpreneur, you can't be an entrepreneur and expect that all areas of my life will sit perfectly without being self-aware. I'm
Very
not
true.
saying it's not possible. It is possible, but you can't expect that I will put into this, into my passion, and it will not take from my relationships, it will not take from my savings, it will not take from my financial
Sure.
health, my mental health, my
Yeah.
emotional health, my support system. If you're dedicating your time, you're minusing it from somewhere else in your life. So either you become very self-aware that, okay, this is my phase where I need to do this. I need to be okay with the fact that if my friends are hanging out with their friends every evening, I've got to be okay.
Right.
That's fine. I will align myself to that lifestyle when I see the time is right, right? But you
Right.
can't just keep doing one thing and expecting other in your life. So
Absolutely.
that is like my suggestion to the passionpreneurs and the startup founders, because they are
Yeah.
more likely and more prone to falling into the mental health issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it is so very much connected that, when a person is just knowing the half of the story and is just trying to follow somebody else, and facing different situations while the journey, and realizing that there are so many things coming up, but really not able to understand that why it is happening, and there is that conflict which is just coming in. So I think it's very important that every individual tries to understand that what has been their journey and what actually motivates them to move ahead. I think that can really help. So it is wonderful that we had such a great discussion. I'm sure that the audience has taken notes of all the suggestions which has been shared today. You all may please connect with us, and we will be more than happy to help you find success. Thank you so much, Shobha and Vibha, for sharing your thoughts. Now I would like to invite the audience to have their questions. Yeah. So you can please raise your hand and I'll give you the chance to speak, please.
Yeah, good evening from my side. Thank you, everyone, for hosting such an event. So my question is that when it comes to the entire long day, and when you need to choose between your little toddler and the work, both are important at the same time. So how should we deal with such a situation? Because both are important at that point of time. You understand today's culture, where at your academic work place you cannot give time to research or anything for the personal development, and while coming back to home you see your little one, you see your family, but also at the back of the mind your personal growth is calling you. So how to deal with such a situation?
So Shobha, you would like to answer that? I can take it up.
I can also take it up. Either ways, Dr. Ravi, you can start if you'd like.
Okay, so basically, I I totally relate to Dr. Gautam because I am sailing on the same boat. My son is going to be 2 now, and it is the same feeling.
Right, sir.
My my engagements just carries on increasing every day, and I don't have one. My daughter is 10, so. So what happens is that I definitely make a very clear understanding with me that if, like what Shobha was saying, that we need to be very clear what we are trying to achieve and what is more important. And I remember my father telling me every time that he's joining us today. Thank you, Dad, for joining in. So he has been always telling me that it is always very good to prioritize your things in life, and in every stage of life your priorities changes. And I have been doing it for quite some time now, so I think it has become a habit, and I really don't regret missing out on any one particular thing. But at the same time, coming back to your question, where you see career and family to be equally important, there you might have to sacrifice on your sleep. So
True, sir, true. I very well relate that, sir.
Yeah, so yes, please. Yes, Shobha, please go on.
Dr. Gautam, I would also say that when you're coming back from work at the end of the day, please prioritize your toddler and your personal life. You've already had a long working day and you have given your 100% there. And I'm not saying it in humor. If I have to make a suggestion, I would say that what Dr. Ravi said, that you have to prioritize what is important to you. Second, what we are discussing is again the self-awareness point over and over again, because it is going to boil down to that. What personally means the most to you at that time. And secondly, when you want to see your personal growth, your professional growth, your relationships and everything together, then you have to sort of, I'd say the concept of time blocking is also pretty amazing. What you could do is, let's say if you want to, what do we mean by personal growth? Personal growth is a very large umbrella term. So is it about working with your communication skills? Is it about working with your presentation skills? Is it about working with your appearance? Is it about working with your social skills? What is it? First you have to write it down, because we these days, what I have experienced with even myself, we try to put things into such a big category and we generalize that, oh, now it has become untouchable for me, or I don't have time for this. So when you say personal growth, just put down the categories for yourself and just time block that, this weekend, these couple of hours, I'm going to do a course on, let's say, I don't know what your process is. You could read a book, you could do a course, you could reflect, you could write something of your own, you could listen to some people who are leading in that particular area or segment. Just time block that these 2 hours on my weekend, I'm going to do this. And rest of the time, I'm going to be doing whatever else I'm doing guilt-free. Or this particular 1 hour in my day, in my morning, this is where I set my intention about this chunk of my time that goes towards this. So when you start time blocking, you will see that it just happens. I'll tell you where I'm coming from. So I wanted to write a book for the longest. And I was sitting on it and I've written something. And, and it was 2 years. I was still not able to finish this book. And then one day I decided that let me time block myself couple of hours in the morning. I'll wake up early and I'll do this as my first thing every day, because you're writing something today and then you're getting back to it after 10 days. Your ideas have changed, your thoughts have changed, you've lost track of what you've accomplished till then you come back to it after 10 days and you come back to it after a month. It becomes all the more tedious and just scattered all over the place. So I did was, I said I'm going to time block. And can you guess how many days I wrote I'm not even saying months, can you guess how many days I wrote my book in? It was just 17 days. I was done with the book cover to cover. It's not yet published, but yeah, it is done for the past 2 years, and I've given it out to certain people for publishing it, waiting for some deals to come through. But I'm just telling you that that's the power of setting your intention, and not if I keep saying it, because I was making that mistake. If I keep saying it, I want to write a book, but I don't have time. I have so much travel. I have this and I have that.
Yeah.
If my priority is that, let me take out 15 days. Let me chart out a time window for that, and let me just follow through and let me see how much progress do I make. And that immediately lowered my anxiety about it, because I was so anxious. Why is this not finishing? I'm good in writing. I'm this and that. And, why is it happening to me? Meanwhile, the others, they have done so much. And all these questions were just put to rest by putting in action and aligning my time and my priority like that.
Fantastic.
It's really great to hear Dr. Ravi and Shobha about their opinion. Thank you so much, Dr. Gautam, for joining in and asking this question.
Pleasure, ma'am. Pleasure.
Yeah, so I would really like to share my thoughts on it. So I would agree with Shobha. So because toddler is going to be 5, 6, 7, right?
Yeah,
And
she's
these years,
5, ma'am. I mean, when I'm listening to this meeting right now, so she came to me and she said, you don't
so
have
these
any
years
other
are not
job,
going to come back.
attending other than meetings. You don't have any other job. So she is always there to poke me.
So what I'm saying is that these years are not going to come back. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have to prioritize, so you have to see that maybe whatsoever commitment, deadlines, or career or dreams you have, right? You have years to chase that. But this relationship and these years and this upbringing, and she needs you the most right now. So I think she's going to be the priority.
Right, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have just one more point to add there, and that is guilt management. A large part of emotional regulation or emotional intelligence is also your guilt management. And, we are conditioned with an idea that it's not okay to hurt people. It's not okay to say no. It's not okay to set your boundary, or it's okay to take a leeway with something that is not aligning with you. Sometimes, you have to really, be okay with saying no. Sometimes you have to be okay with even hurting people when you know that you will make up for it. I say that at the risk of being judged. I say that at the risk of, being a little extra bold about it. Because these are some very deep personal learnings that I'm sharing with you. Because I was also so conditioned with the idea that because when you don't want to hurt anybody, then you are relentlessly chasing perfectionism. And the whole point is that we are flawed beings, and we are going to have flaws, and we have to be okay with being flawed. We have to be okay with being flawed as a parent. We are okay to being flawed as a professional, as whoever you identify in a particular situation as, or what a situation demands out of you. So once you start making sort of friends with your flaws, you start understanding, okay, if I'm not able to spend this half an hour because it's going somewhere else, how do I make up for it? Instead of being guilty about it, let me manage my guilt. Let me find out what will make this better. I am hurting her emotions, or I'm saying hurt is a very large emotion. Maybe she's not that hurt. Maybe she's just expecting you to be with her, and from some other zone, not the hurt zone. But I'm just saying that with other people also, you have to be okay with that, because sometimes your time, your life, your personal aspirations will demand that out of you. So being okay with that and managing your guilt, and then compensating for it in some manner,
Right.
if that person is important to you, you'll realize that so many times we give into so much of guilt because of so many people and situations those are not even relevant to me. In just my blind quest to attain perfection, and just this needed to be done this way, that
Right.
mentality. So I would say that one has to work with that also. Guilt and shame are two very very important and very very deep rooted emotions that can completely transform your idea of how fulfilled you feel about your life. So if you learn to balance and regulate guilt and shame, it will help you sort of deal with your anxiety and your mental health related concerns in that much more. Those are my
Right.
like 2 bits on that.
Very nice. Great.
Thank you, Ravi sir.
Please. We have another question, please. Please go ahead, Meghna.
Hello. Yeah. Good
Please.
evening, everybody. Yeah. A very nice discussion and very helpful for me. I just want to ask, being a woman, working woman, as you know that in our culture it is supposed to be said that most of the family responsibilities like daily chores has to be done by the woman. So while doing this, her mental health is actually at stake. So how to with this? I mean, doing the family responsibility, looking after children, and then your work commitments. So how to do that?
Well, I believe, I can speak from a husband's perspective, so, I see this with my wife, and I totally respect the kind of effort she puts in for the family while working. So I make it a point that I'm able to contribute to the family as much as possible. And I believe, in this kind of understanding, open communication is very important. And if you as an individual is contributing to the family, the husband or the kids or the extended family who is there with you, they hold the equal responsibility. And I don't think that we still have a very strong thought process to what it has been in India, that a man is supposed to earn and the woman is supposed to take care of the family. I believe the things have changed a lot, and women are doing really, really good. I don't think I'll be wrong if I say that they're doing better than men on quite a few fronts. So I personally believe that it is a good time to speak it out and have a discussion with the important members in the family and divide the work and have a clear understanding about it. I'll pass it on to the other speakers.
Yeah, I totally agree that you can't do it all, right? So you need to see that what kind of support system you would be needing if you are a mother, you are a wife, and you are working as well. So definitely you need a support system, and for that, communication with the family is very much required, so that you are able to take care of your physical and mental health. That also is equally important. That's what the agenda for the discussion also is, that you need to prioritize yourself also. So you need to take care of yourself. So very, very important to take care of um, your wellness, your well-being, yeah, your happiness. So a support system would be required. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Very well said, Dr. Vibha. As a woman, I can totally understand what Meghna is battling with. As females, it's a very ideal situation if communication can solve your problems. Communicating with your partner, your family, and creating that sort of a support system for yourself is possible. That's a beautiful situation. But unfortunately, that cannot happen with everyone because not everyone is married into a family that is so well understanding of, or even the husband and wife, they are on the same page on everything. It's not humanly also possible, even if it's not a very deep rooted issue between the couple or the family and all of that, the whole ecosystem I'm talking about. You have to again, first of all, as women, we take more guilt than and more pressure than we should, and it's very ingrained in our system. Self-care as a concept has never existed for women ever since of time. Women were supposed to be the one who will take on the sacrificing role in the family, will take on being ignored, will take on not being ignored, even second into the bracket of unsaid expectations for women even at work. There's a reason that we have to put a law to it that every company should have 10% or 15% females as their employees. We didn't need the law for that if there was equality in opportunities and equality in everything. So there is clearly it's a gray area for women, but you have to also personalize this for yourself, that what is your idea of your life. Like, let's say you're saying that how do I manage my family and my personal aspirations and my goals. Again, then it starts at aligning your priority that, and also giving up on the ideas that balance mean 50-50. What I have come to realize through my own personal journey as well is that creating balance is never about 50-50. When you think about balance, the first thing that comes to your mind is that that insaf ka tarazu, being equal, or how your vegetable vendor measures your vegetable and puts a weight on the other side, and that's the idea we've grown up with, that it's got to be 50-50. But in your relationships as human beings, it will never be 50-50. Sometimes you will be 80, sometimes you will be 20. So you have to understand that sometimes you'll be able to pour in more, sometimes you will have places where you will pour in less. So to create that self-awareness, that do I get into guilt for it, and do I just keep feeling that, oh, I am not enough, or I am not doing enough, or it could have been done better? Can I really put down on a paper and pen that what could have I done if not this, and do that from the next time on? So it boils down to taking actions instead of sitting with the thoughts. I mean, that is one thing which has worked for me, because most of us have gone through this not been able to create balance in our lives, having our families suffer and taking the guilt of it, or sometimes families are not aligned with what my idea of creating a professional success for me is, or whatever it is, my job hours are aligned or not. There's so much that's going on. So so you have to be, I think my suggestion would be for you to understand that balance is never 50-50, and B, just see your priority and design your unique life that helps you not be in guilt.
Thank you so much for answering that. Guilt management was a really helpful thing, I think.
As women, we are attuned to take guilt,
Yes.
so much guilt. Even if the kids don't need us, I'm not saying they don't, but they do. But sometimes even if they don't need us, or they are very happy doing their own things, like a kid is very happy eating on his own, but we as mothers, we want to put the spoon into their mouth, because it is my guilt that, oh, am I loving him less?
Yes.
It's so ingrained in our system. It's not coming from nowhere. It is generations of us living like that it has just deep-rooted itself into my being, that I always feel that I need to do more.
Yes. Correct.
And asking for help. Please ask for help. Like Dr. Vibha said, communication. Like Dr. Ravi said, if your spouse or you ask them, sometimes the problems, like a lot of times the problems get solved there only. Instead of expecting that, oh, I have put the clothes for drying, for washing, he should just put it for drying out, because that will be 50-50 of the job done by both partners. Instead of expecting it to be 50-50, either you do more or he does more by itself, or you ask for it, that, could you please do with this, because I am doing this. So not chasing, because we women also are conditioned to do everything by ourselves. We in our head want to be that glorified superwoman that we are fed. I'm guilty of that. I've been guilty of that for many years. That I am a superwoman. I can do everything. I will not ask for help. Asking for help is so difficult for us, most of our women, because we have been rejected for help many a times. History has a lesson in it. And we know that, अरे होने भी क्या वाला है help मांगने से भी, तो छोड़ो ना, खुद से करो. But that खुद से करो put so much pressure on yourself, and so these are like 2-3 simple suggestions that I could just share from my journey here, Meghna.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Very nice. Anyone else has any other questions, please? Okay. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Shobha. Thank you so much, Vibha. And just to inform all of you, we will be putting up this session's recording on the social media. So you can listen to it again if you want, if there are certain things that you would like to revise or you would like to, make somebody else go through it. So thank you so much and wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you
Good
so
night.
much, everyone. Thanks.
Thank
Good
you so
night.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Vibha. I constantly get inspired by you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Dr. Ravi, for inviting me for this chat. I had such a great time
Thank
to
you so
be
much.
with such intelligent people as both of yourself and every one of
Same.
Feelings
us.
are mutual, Shobha. I do get inspired by you and really feel happy about the way you have been doing it, progressing it.
Absolutely.
Congratulations for that.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.